Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step by step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Affirmation Addict podcast. Today, I want to tell you a little manifestation story that I learned the hard way, and it's something I just wanted to really talk through with you and remind you about what manifestation feels like sometimes when it feels like it's never going to go your way. So I hope this episode helps you if you're in the same boat. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Agarwal. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Actually, wait, before we get started, I wanted to check with you. Have you heard about my new app? It's called Affirm It, and it's your one-stop shop for all things affirmations, manifestation, and self-healing. I really have been wanting to create something for you that truly empowers you to realize that you genuinely have everything you need within you. You don't need me. You don't need any other coaches. This app genuinely has everything you need to get that life that you've been trying to manifest. And it has gentle daily reminders, guided audio affirmations, sleep affirmations, affirmation reminders, and so much more good information, good energy, and so many things that I know will help you manifest your dreams. Because I'm so grateful for you, I'm actually offering you a free 7-day trial. And this is a genuine 7-day trial. That means you don't have to type in your credit card. You won't be automatically charged. There's no ads, and you get complete access to the app as if you've already subscribed to it. So if you do want to learn more about the app, head over to affirmation-addict.com/app, or if you're ready to dive in, head over to the iTunes App Store and search for Affirm It. The Android version will be coming soon, and as soon as it's ready, I'll be sure to let you know. Now we can officially dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to today's episode. I just hope you're having a great day, no matter what time of day it is, where you are, what you're doing. I hope you are okay right now. I really, my heart is telling me to give you that reminder and give you that extra boost of love. So on today's episode, I actually wanted to share a story with you guys about something I learned kind of the hard way in manifesting. And so this is a little story. I want to remind you that when you're manifesting and things feel like they're going absolutely against you, that it can still manifest. And I have once again been reminded of that evidence, and I'll kind of share with you what I did to cope and go through that process because I understand. So I wanted to really share with you that even I have manifestations that don't manifest with ease, that take me a little while, that take some inner healing on my end. I think there's a really big misconception that certain things for me manifest with ease, and I think a lot of people think that everything in my life manifests with ease. And I want to be here and be so real with you and tell you that is so not true. I am just as human, just as on this journey of growth and learning as you. So me and you are one and the same. And trust me, I get it. When I tell you to surrender and it makes no sense, I get it, because that was me with this manifestation. And I'm about to teach you a little bit about what helped me, and feel free to add your own twists to it as usual. Your intuition is absolutely your best source. And so a little bit of a background story that this manifestation was not directly related to me, but it was related to my loved ones. And it was dependent on so many moving pieces, moving parts, that I was starting to get very, very affected. And I knew people were making rash decisions. I knew people were getting hurt that didn't need to get hurt. And there was frankly not much I could do about it. I spoke my mind, but I was actually shunned. I literally was told, do not speak your mind. And that is something that is very, very difficult for me because I cannot lie. And I'm not somebody who is able to be fake and be false and pretend like everything is good. So that is something I was dealing with on a very personal level with some loved ones, and it was really difficult for me to watch someone I care about and people I love make decisions that were hurting other people that we love unintentionally. So it was kind of this like love hurt triangle, and I wasn't getting directly affected, but it was starting to affect me emotionally because of my kind of that whole shunning experience, as well as I just knew in my heart, I knew this was a bad idea. I had bad feelings about all of these decisions, and they were still going through with it. And so this was about a month-long journey where from the conversation and from the action, it was all going against kind of what I wanted. It was all going against what I felt was right. And to be super honest with you, it wasn't my life or my circumstances to worry about. And that was something I really had to make peace with, actually, because I was worrying and caring about somebody else's life, somebody else's decisions. It wasn't me or Tom. It was other people. And it was really hard for me to watch them make a decision I intuitively, for some reason, knew was not going to serve them well. And it was hurting people in our life together. So I can't give details. I'm sorry. I can't give you those details, but I hope that you guys are following. And what I really, really learned through this is your intuition is always so right. Even if it has nothing to do with you, your intuition, that feeling, that like whole body push or whole body pull, when you just know so deeply in your heart, that is one of the strongest powers and forces of truth in your life. And I hope this episode really reminds you to tune into that. I know it's hard. Trust me. I was in that situation. I know it feels like you know your intuition, but life happens and circumstances aren't going forward with it. And I get it. That's what I was in. But what I chose to do is, well, actually, let me rewind. First, as we were going through this situation, I knew my intuition. So I heard my intuition and I was trying to really follow it. But every time these people were making decisions, every time we talked to them, I was immediately just focusing on this decision. Their decision sucks. They are making a bad decision. They're hurting people. I was just focusing on the negative. I was focusing on the hurt. I was focusing on the lack of like decision-making skills. I was focusing on the lack of trust. I was focusing on the lack of love in the situation. I was focusing on just everything bad, right? You know, when you're in those situations and all you see is negative, and I was doing that. I could not get myself to think, what is the blessing in this? I couldn't find it. I was like, there's none. That was my conclusion. My conclusion was there's no good scenario from here, and it was really hard. And so all I could do anytime, this was about 3 weeks long, all I could do was focus on how much it sucked, and I would vent to my mom, I would vent to my dad, I would vent to Tom, I would complain, I would get frustrated, I would lose sleep. Like I was a mess and it wasn't even my own problem, but all I was doing was adding more fuel to that negativity. And clearly that wasn't really working out for me. It continued moving in their favor. It continued hurting me and it wasn't getting me anywhere. So after a little bit of just taking a step back and reflecting, I was like, okay, I was very frustrated that this was in my head that the universe wasn't working with me. I felt really, really unsupported by the universe. I felt like my intuition was lying to me. I was really in that state of doubt. This was such a kind of minuscule thing now that I look back on it. But during that time, it was everything for me. So a quick little reminder that your problems, your issues, your doubts are so valid and relative to your own experience. So don't judge yourself for what you're thinking. And so as we were moving through this, I was obviously making no progress. I felt all that doubt. I felt all of the universe. Why is this happening? Like, why would my intuition tell me? Why am I getting so affected? Why is my whole body telling me this is so wrong? And how is it still playing out? Is this something I can't manifest? It was such like a doubtful moment because I was like, I know I can manifest anything. Why isn't it happening? And so what I finally came to the conclusion of, I was like, well, it's not doing me good to get frustrated, get triggered, complain, gossip about it, talk about it, and think about it. It's not helping. So what if I took an opposite approach? What if I stopped focusing on what I wanted? What if I just accepted the situation and kind of almost didn't care about it? What if I just let it happen? What if I removed all of my energy from that situation? Then what? So I did. I immediately felt better. I just felt less triggered. I wasn't getting triggered every time we spoke to them. I wasn't constantly focusing on the lack. And the moment, I kid you not, 2 days later, after I started doing this whole acceptance and not caring, that moment, all of the plans that they were working towards just all fell through. That decision that they were trying to make that I knew was wrong fell through. Every single thing just turned around almost instantaneously. It was a matter of 2 days and everything was just falling into place. Everything was falling into that place of my intuition was right. And now this feels super contradicting because it wasn't my specific problem, but it was affecting my husband. It was affecting our family. It was affecting our loved ones. So it was connected to me. Maybe I wasn't in the center of it, but I was still feeling Tom get affected by it. And he is my soulmate. We're so connected. And so I ended up getting affected. And I am so okay with that. Like, I have his back no matter what, right? And it was one of those situations where I realized, like, if we doubt the universe will allow us to doubt it and give us that evidence. And if we focus on the lack, we are creating more lack. Like, it was so plain and crystal clear to me now that I look back at it. What I was doing was, when I would talk to them, I would get triggered. I would get upset. When I would hear about it, I would get upset. Every single thing was negative, negative, negative. Upset, upset, upset. Trigger, trigger, trigger. There was no opportunity where I was spending more attention focusing on the good. I knew what the good situation was. I knew what my intuition wanted. I knew what was right. But I wasn't giving enough fuel. I wasn't giving enough energy compared to the lack of kind of the energy I was giving the bad energy to. I wasn't giving enough good energy to counteract the bad. And so that is why I think it's so important to, when you're manifesting, yes, you can say your affirmations for a few minutes. That's so powerful. And that's what I did every morning. Just for a few minutes, I would say these affirmations that I hope things go well. I hope no one's hurt. Just all of the things I really wanted and I knew in my heart to be true, and I wasn't seeing them. And when I didn't see them, I got frustrated, and that trigger of frustration outweighed the energy I put in my affirmations for this situation, which kept allowing the negative to manifest until I finally stopped putting attention towards the negative. I stepped away from the situation and I allowed and I accepted with full trust that whatever needs to happen is going to happen, because clearly I am not helping the situation. I'm only hurting myself. And so it is kind of one of those experiences that really humbled me and reminded me that sometimes you don't get what you want immediately. And I'm so grateful for it, because I haven't had this happen in, frankly, a really long time, where it was something I knew to my core to be true. It wasn't like a self-confidence issue. I have more of those. I definitely am working on those. This was so much more of I had so much confidence. I had so much, I knew it. And it wasn't happening. It was just like, how was this possible? And I finally realized, the energy I was putting towards getting upset was so much stronger than my affirmation energy that it just outweighed it. And so what I really want to remind you is, no matter what you're going through, you have the opportunity to complain, vent, get triggered. It is easy. I promise. I get it. I know it's so easy to do that. I did it for 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks to finally realize enough is enough. So don't judge yourself for however long it takes you to realize it, but just keep in the back of your mind that that option to change your mind, to choose something different, whether it's choosing the positive, and if you can't find a blessing, maybe you choose just to put zero energy towards it. The universe does hear you. And that is what I was so strongly reminded of, that I wasn't able to fuel positivity and think of the best case scenario. Like, I knew my best case scenario, but it felt so far away. It felt so impossible that thinking of it frustrated me because it felt wrong. So all I had to do, all I could do that helped me cope and help me manage my energy was to step back and accept the situation and say, whatever is happening, I trust that it's happening for a higher good that I can't see. And being okay with not knowing the certain outcome, you kind of have to get to that level of enough is enough. And that's happened to me multiple times in my life, where sometimes once I take a step back and I'm like, okay, whatever needs to happen is going to happen, I just take a step back and just let my mind wash away from that situation. It manifests so quickly. And it's because the conflicts, the ego, the higher self, all of the conflicting energies in our mind are not present. So when we divert our energy, it actually helps it manifest sometimes. And this is truly the beauty of manifestation. Manifestation is not just a one method thing. To be honest, all you need to do to manifest something is set your intention and let it happen. But most of the time, our human minds are what get in the way. Our human minds, our thoughts, our fears, our habits, our worries, our kind of constant habit to try and make things happen, like force them into existence. That's what gets in the way. That's what I was doing. And so it was such a beautiful reminder for me that seriously, just the simple thought, just the simple intention, just the simple affirmation is 100% powerful enough to manifest. No matter how hard you try, it is always, always possible. It really just depends on how much energy you're putting into that fire. How much fuel are you putting into the fire? How much fuel are you putting into the water? Like, you get to choose. Do you want to put it into negativity or the fire? Or do you want to put it into water and the calm and the collected and the ease and the trust? That was a really weird analogy, but I hope it resonated with you. It was the only thing that came to my head right now. But that's truly what I learned, is it is so important to just remember your intuition is not wrong. Sometimes you can't see that final outcome. Sometimes all evidence seems like it's against you. You're not crazy for feeling that way. You're not crazy for feeling frustrated. All of that is super valid. But I just want to tell you, and from someone who's just went through what you're probably going through, is that whatever you're trying to manifest is so possible. It might not feel like it, but maybe try this. Maybe try shifting your energy and just focusing on your energy level, focusing on how can I feel good right now? Even if my circumstances aren't good, even if my circumstances aren't ideal, how can I still choose to feel good? How can I choose to feel better and focus on something else? And a few things that really help me divert my energy, for me, my number one is affirmations and scripting out my best case scenario. But if that begins to start triggering you and starts to kind of create those thoughts where, well, this clearly isn't working, then my step 2 is divert. Just shift your attention. You know in your heart, but now can you shift your attention and manage your reactions? Can you manage your triggers? Can you just say, okay, I trust. There's obviously, my energy right now is not helping this situation, so maybe I just need to take a step back. That is something that was really hard for me to do, to be super honest, but that's what made this thing manifest. And so now you get to take this into practice. Can you either say those affirmations, and can you script out and know so clear in your heart what your best case scenario is? And then can you manage your triggers? When evidence is against everything you're working towards, can you manage your triggers and not get affected? And this goes beyond just their triggers. This goes throughout your entire day. I say this so often, but your energy throughout your entire day, those 24 hours in your day, probably the 16 hours that you're awake, every single second of that energy is manifesting. So what are you doing every second of your day is actually always contributing energy towards something that's manifesting more. So when you have fear, you are probably manifesting a little bit more of what you're scared of. If you are spending some time daydreaming and thinking about what you like, or doing something you love and just feeling joy, even if it's absolutely unrelated, you are still manifesting towards what you really want. So a really cool trick I do is when I am in that mode of I have to divert my attention, I come back to the things that bring me joy. For me, those things are cooking, sitting in the hot tub with Tom, and painting. Those are my 3 things that bring me so much joy that if I need to divert my energy, I just immediately take my little toolkit and start doing those. And so even if you're not consistently putting energy towards that manifestation, if you are creating more joy and feeling good inside of you, that is still indirectly putting energy towards that manifestation. It is still just as powerful. So I really invite you to, whatever you're going through, just remember there is hope. There is possibility. The universe has your back. You are supported. I support you. I'm cheering you on from right here. And I just really hope that this instills a new sense of hope, a new sense of, yes, this is possible, even when it feels like it's not. I promise you, this is so possible for you. And if you are meant for it, it will come for you. And if it is meant for you, it will come to you. So just remember that. That is the affirmation that brought me peace, is if it's meant for me, it's going to happen this way. And if it's not, I will learn what I need to. And the moment I was able to say that affirmation with trust and with letting go of that control, it really helped me manifest it. And it took me about a day and a half, 2 days to manifest from one extreme to the absolute other extreme of everything falling into place. So I hope this episode really helps you with whatever you're going through. And if it does, let me know. Send me a message, write a review, however you want to communicate with me. I'm here, I'm listening, and I'm right there with you. So thank you for making it to the end. I'm so grateful for you, and have a great day. Mwah. Bye. So, how did you like today's episode? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And before you leave, I wanted to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me. If this episode or any of my content has ever inspired you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could leave a review in the iTunes podcast app and just share this with someone you care about. The more your guys leave reviews and share this with people, the more I am able to create more content for you, and that's what fuels me and keeps me going. I am so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing energy. Bye!